When you are falling in love with the wrong men, choosing the wrong men, being attached to the wrong men, you will find that no matter how hard you try to make the relationship work, it will not work out. You will find that even when you try to fix yourself or communicate better, try to be better, being a better girlfriend who takes care of him and put effort into the relationship, no matter how much you try to do and figure out, you will find that men after men after men do not treat you in the way that you desire. They are emotionally avoidant to you. They become hot one moment and then go cold the next moment, start pulling away. They say that they're busy, but actually deep down they're just unavailable. Or they may be narcissistic, controlling, or even abusive. No matter how much you're trying to get their love, they just are not able to give you that love. And if that is where you find yourself in, know, my love, that the truth is, it's not that there is something wrong with you. It's not that you are cursed in your love life. It is not that you are unworthy of love. That's not the reason why they are not giving you love, giving you commitment, giving you consistency or devotion in the way that you desire. The truth is that it's just that there is a part of you that is making you choose the wrong men, which is why you fall for the wrong man and get into relationships that don't end up working out. Which is the reason why, if you want to have a happy love life, meaning being married or having commitment from the partner that is here to spend your whole life with, and being loved and adored in the way that you desire, the key is to realize that the truth is your love life is not determined by what you do. It's not determined by the communication strategies or the texting tactics or you trying to cook and clean and be a good wife material. The truth is, it doesn't matter how much you are trying to do those things. As long as you are choosing men who are avoidant, unavailable, toxic, unhealthy for you, you will still end up getting back to square one, getting your heart broken, getting into relationships where you had to struggle and fight in order to earn their love, which is why what you need to understand is that the thing is, it doesn't matter how much you try to do. Rather, the fate of your love life is determined by what you choose, the type of men that you fall in love with, the type of men that you get into relationships into. And the craziest thing about it all, my love, is that the truth is, it is not you who decide who you choose to fall in love with, whom you choose to be attracted to, be drawn to, be attached to, but rather there is something else that is deciding whether you choose men who are healthy for you or men who are unhealthy for you, aka avoidant, unavailable, unreciprocative. There is something else that is deciding the type of men you choose to fall in love with, which ultimately then decides the fate of your love life. And that is what we're talking about here today in this video. Because think about it. Let's say that, for example, there are two men who come into your life, person A and person B. They both are equally attractive and maybe they even have similar career or similar accomplishments on paper. However, do you notice how the truth is that even when different men are presented to us, there is something deeper inside of us that makes us attracted to certain men over others. For example, you may be attracted to person A over person B, and you just have no idea why that is the case, right? With person A, you feel like he is your soulmate. You instantly feel that spark, that love at first sight moment with person A, but not person B. And you may attribute that attractiveness or that chemistry that you have with person A to something like how it must have been fate, or it must have been destiny, where you fall so deeply in love with this person. But little did you know, when you do get into a relationship with him, this person A turns out to be someone who is emotionally unavailable. Anytime that you bring up emotions to him, he walks, he runs away. One moment he is super close with you, and the next moment, the next day, he ghosts you, or he says he's busy, unavailable. And then you keep finding yourself in this relationship pattern where you're the one chasing, you're the one pursuing things with him. However, what you do not know is that, let's say you rewind back the time and you choose instead person B. Instead, person B is someone who is secure, someone who is emotionally present, who is available. However, whenever you're feeling all that chemistry and spark and that intense passion, you do not see any of that. All you see is that something about person A is very attractive to you. Something about person A is calling you. And that, my love, is exactly how the course of your love life, the fate of your love life is determined by that one thing. By this one thing, which is who are you choosing, who you are attracted to. And the thing is, you are not the person who decides it. Sure, you want love. Sure, you want someone who takes care of you. However, the thing is, what creates chemistry in you is the thing that is actually deciding what your love life turns into. In other words, the part of you that is giving all you that chemistry, that flood of chemicals, that dopamine, is the one that is deciding whether you have a happy love life or not. Because if that part of you is giving you dopamine only to the men who are unavailable, avoidant to you, no matter how many partners you get into a relationship with, no matter how many men you decide to go out on dates with, eventually you will only end up choosing the men who are bad for you, toxic for you, unhealthy for you. Why? Because this deeper part of you that decides the chemistry is making you choose specifically the type of men who are unable to give love to you. And now here is where we get to the exciting part, as you may be asking the question. So if it is not you who decide the man that you're attracted into, the man that you fall in love with, if so, then who is the one that is deciding it? Who is the one that is choosing the man that you fall in love with? And that, my love, is the part of you that you would least expect, the part of you that you thought was gone but actually still remains inside of you. And that, my love, is your beloved inner child, the little girl inside of you. The truth is, it is not you who choose the man that you fall in love with, but rather it is the little girl in you, the little girl who was 3 years old, 5 years old, the little girl who was hurt, who was wounded by her parents or from other parts of your childhood. That little girl, that inner child, is the one who is deciding the men that you are drawn to, the men that you're attracted to, which is also what explains the reason why for some women, for some people, it's so easy for them to find their true love, for them to find their life partner. They fall in love with someone from their high school, and then they get married. They're so happy with each other, and then they spend their whole lives, the rest of their lives, together. Yet, on the other hand, you may be wondering, why is it that all these people get into that happily ever after so easily, but for you, you find yourself being in relationships with men who do not reciprocate that love for you, men who do not choose you, men who are unavailable for you. You may be wondering why this cycle keeps on continuing for you. And why is it that you can't just get to that happily ever after? Why you're still feeling stuck? Why you're still being single? And the answer comes down to your inner child, my dear one. Because the thing is that your inner child will choose exactly the love that you have been given in the past. So if you have your parents, if your caretakers give you the love that was consistently available, that was present, they accept you for who you are, they take care of your emotions as well as your physical needs. And guess what? It's going to be easy for this little girl to also recognize men who are also consistent and who are also loving, caring, providing, because that is the experience that you have had. So it'll be easy for you. Yet, on the other hand, if your parents provided love that was inconsistently available. One moment they're there when actually they're not paying attention to you, or maybe they judge you, they shame you, they guilt trip you. If you had all these emotional wounds, the thing is that your inner child, the little girl inside of you, is going to be choosing men who are also judging, who are also guilt tripping you, gaslighting you, who are also inconsistent with you. The thing is, it's not about the type of men that you want. You don't get the type of men that you want, but rather you get the type of love that you are used to, that you have been used to in the past. And I know that this may not make sense at first because it doesn't make logical sense, right? For example, if you didn't get the type of love that you wanted in your past, of course you may think, your conscious mind may think that of course you will choose differently. Of course now you know better. But the thing is, whenever you fall in love with someone, whenever you have the chemistry with someone, it is not the logic that decides, but rather it is your emotions. It is your emotional world that decides who you fall in love with and who you're attracted to. And this emotional world is made up of primarily the parts of you that you aren't aware of, the parts of you that you thought were gone, but actually they're not gone because they're still here. She is still a part of you, and that is, my love, is your little girl, the little girl that is always there with you, no matter what you do, no matter where you go. And as long as you are leaving her out, as long as you are ignoring her, as long as you are not meeting her needs, then she will be trying to get your attention. And the way on how she tries to get your attention is by choosing men who are bad for you, who are unhealthy for you. Because only when things fall apart, the relationships fall apart, that is how she gets your attention. And what you need to realize is that when you are finding yourself in relationships with men who are unhealthy, inconsistent, or toxic, that is because she is trying to get your attention. She wants you to be there for her, which all of this is to say, and to sum it up, is for you to realize that when you find yourself in unhappy relationships that end up cold, distant, or unreciprocated, falling apart, if you find yourself repeating relationships with men who are unhealthy for you, who are unloving to you, inconsistent for you, the key is to stop trying to change men. Because as long as you are trying to convince them, you're trying to change them, you're trying to earn their love, as long as you're thinking that the answer is the man, you will be trapped in the cycle of chasing for love, trapped in the cycle of earning for their love, trapped in the cycle of trying to convince them to get their love. And this is the biggest illusion of your love life out there. Your mind thinks that by somehow convincing them and trying to change their behavior, they will finally change who they are and will finally love you. But the thing is that as long as you are putting your attention onto them and placing them on a pedestal, you will still be repeating this unhealthy love cycle where you have to be the one who have to change and earn and pursue, and it's very exhausting. It's so tiring, and it will never lead you to the happy love life, the peaceful love life that you desire. And instead, what you need to do is to ask yourself, is to actually look within and become aware of why this is happening in the first place. So if you find yourself getting attached to the wrong man, ask yourself, who in you is getting attached to this wrong man? Who in you is wanting love from these unavailable, avoidant men? Then you want to get into the what. What does she want? What is she looking for? What is it that she needs in order to be loved? And then we want to ask how she wants to be loved. And what we are doing here is changing the course of your love life by redirecting you to unconditional love. The love that you have always wanted but never had. The love that nobody has ever provided for you. And we want you to experience that love coming out of you, pouring through you right now. And this isn't just a one-time thing. You can't just be aware of all of this, watch this YouTube video, and call it a day. And the same way, you can't just do talk therapy and bring up the things from your past and your inner child and then call it a day. The thing is that awareness by itself doesn't fix in itself. The thing is that you have to actually integrate and embody, experience, truly feel that in your body, live out these parts of you and satisfy these parts of you that are wanting for love, that are begging for love inside of you. We want to satisfy them through your body. And I know that this may sound woo-woo, but it is actually how it works. You can't just be knowing, because the thing is, knowing in its own does not change the pattern. If knowing was the answer, you watching YouTube videos would just fix the problem, would change what you experience in your love life forever. But real actual transformation, actual change only happens when you can experience it, feel it, taste it, become it, merge with that love as an embodied experience, meaning you allow yourself to feel that love, the type of love that you've always wanted, the type of love that no one else has ever given you. We want to experience that in your body. And that, my love, is how you change the course of your love life, how you get into a happily ever after, a peaceful marriage or a peaceful love life, through choosing the right men who are able and available to give love to you in the way that you want. Because this is how change works. This is how transformation works. It begins the moment you choose things differently within yourself to begin with. It is when you start to live and experience, receive the exact type of love that you're looking for, which starts from you, which starts within. And when you do that, finding the right type of men and choosing relationships with men who are healthy for you, it becomes so natural. It becomes so easy, because now your nervous system, your body, your energy field is attuned to the actual type of love that you want, and not the unhealthy love that you have experienced in the past, in your childhood. Because now your nervous system, your body, your energy field is able to instantly recognize the type of men who are healthy for you, who are good for you, instead of discounting them and saying that and feeling that they are boring. Because normally this is what happens. When you are only used to the unhealthy love, you think that the healthy men are boring. It's just like how if you are used to eating junk food, you think that eating the wholesome, delicious foods that are good for your body, that sustain you for the long term, you think that those foods are boring, but instead you are addicted to that toxic junk food. And the same way in love, if your nervous system is wired for unhealthy love, if you are still having and carrying these wounds inside of your body, you are still going to be choosing the men who are unhealthy and unavailable to you. And instead, the biggest thing that you can do, the biggest change that you can implement in your love life, is to let go and clear up these wounds, clear up the emotional gunk that has been weighing you down. And you do that through integrating the love, the unconditional love, the divine love, the love that you've always been looking for right here, right now. And if that is the type of transformation that you're looking for, going from chasing and trying to pursue love from men who cannot give you, into instead receiving love with ease, attracting partners who are healthy, who are consistent, who are devoted to you, that is the exact type of transformation that I've personally walked myself through and my clients through. And you can receive the same thing for yourself by finding out if personalized guidance and support is a right fit for you. And for that, you can book a free one-on-one consultation session where you also find out the exact hidden block that is holding you back in your love life and experiencing the shift that leads to your dream love life transformation. That is what I'm offering, and you can find out more about that. The link is in the description box below. Much love.